do to you? Fuck you.
The regions of experience, demons to some, angels to
I
others.
saw her face.
What's that like to live deliciously?
Greetings, friends! Welcome back to the Messed Up Movies Podcast, the podcast that celebrates movies and filmmakers that embrace the insane, the outrageous, the unhinged, the off-kilter, and the all-around kind of messed up fun you and you can't take your eyes off of. What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Griffey, joined as always by friends and co-host Sam and Heath. Welcome back to the cave. We're here for another New Movie Monday. Today we ventured out to the icy north to watch The Black Phone 2. I almost said Black Mirror 2. The Black Phone 2. Before that, a little bit of business. People, please go to the Messed Up Movies Podcast Patreon page. The best way to support the show. Coming up in December, the patrons will all submit their picks for a movie they want us to cover. We will select winners out of a stocking. We call it our stocking stuffer year-end giveaway to show the patrons some love. They will program the entire month of movies there. So that's very exciting. Make sure you go to the Misfit Parade YouTube, subscribe there. We're on all the socials, like cool content people have to be. Also, make sure you go to Indiegogo. Type in Mr. Cream Jeans. You have to type it in because we've been shadow banned. There is a perk there where you can join this podcast. You can do a new movie, an old movie, or a film festival draft versus me, Sam, Heath, Sophia, Dandino, whoever you want a piece of. You can make that happen if you help us make our first movie. Speaking of making movies, I do think this year has been incredible for specifically one reason. The amount, so we did this changeover, right? The Messed Up Movies Podcast. And we wanted to do new movie. Wednesday was kind of like a traditional curation. And Filmmaker Fridays or Festival Fridays, right? When we started the show, I was a bit worried. I was like, God, are we going to have a new messed up movie every single week? It is crazy that we're in October and there are still movies we haven't gotten to.
Oh, yeah.
We have a glut of horror right now. Big horror, small horror, really good horror.
We've missed a few of them. We didn't go see, what was the one, Bone Lake or whatever that was called?
Bone Lake.
I saw Bone Lake.
Coyote. I Know What You Did Last Summer. There's a bunch of them that we missed.
Tornado.
Tornado.
Did you see Tornado?
No, I did. What? Twisters?
No.
Heart Eyes. I think we missed Heart.
No, you
Hard
guys
Eyes.
did Hard Eyes. I saw that
Did
one.
we do Hard Eyes?
Yeah.
Did we?
I don't remember.
This is how many good horror
so
movies
just
we're
so you
getting.
guys know, your podcast prompted me to watch Hard Eyes.
Ah, see?
there you go.
We're winning over hearts and minds. I do think it's incredible. I do think in regards to the Black Phone 2, I think it's incredible when you get a really big horror movie like this. The production value and the cost of this movie. It's always nice when you see a really big movie hit. That said, I'm a little mixed on how much that money helped this movie out.
I mean, it paid for the stage.
It paid for the stage and a shitload of fake snow. Like Sam and I used to deal with on Winter Wipeout.
Exactly.
It's a
Actually,
mess.
dude, I had that exact thought. I'm like, when he was out there and he wasn't shivering, I'm like, oh, I remember being in that situation.
Yeah,
with the
there's a
fake
lot
snow.
of people who just are immune to cold in this, whether that be hypothermia from water or just in the middle of the worst blizzard since 46. This movie, there were parts of it I really loved, but there's kind of this continuing nagging thread throughout the movie of just a lot of series of really illogical decision making.
First, tell me what you love.
What I loved.
I'd love to know.
What I loved Ethan Hawke, right? Anytime you get to see Ethan Hawke do
he's
the
great.
grabber, that's rad. I thought the costume and the new makeup for the grabber was great. Love that. I love... I'm choking. Sorry, the grabber's getting me. I loved the camp counselor. I thought he was a really good addition. He brought some much needed kind of heart and wisdom to this tale. I really like the dream aesthetic, right? The Derrickson Cargill kind of sinister aesthetic, right? Of the old Super 8 home movies.
Yeah.
Or 16, whatever that was shot on.
Super 8, I think.
They really went over the top on this one to really capture that very analog kind of Super 8 feel. And I thought some of the dream sequence stuff and things like that worked really, really well in the film. That's what I really liked about it. What did you love about the movie?
Sam, to you.
Oh, shit!
All right. So I did like the cinematography, even though like Heath pointed out, it's mostly green screen. But I thought they did a good job of making it look like ethereal almost.
Yeah,
like
there's an
otherworldly,
uncanny
like
nature to it.
yeah. So I think that the green screen did kind of help with that. in a way to make it seem a little bit more fantastical. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Fantastical?
So there's just this kind of eerie thread, right? They kind of pull it's kind of a half-assed Dream Warriors, Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors in this movie, where it was a very logical choice, right? The grabber gets killed at the end of the first one. It makes sense he would come back this way. We've already established the rules of this universe that the dead aren't dead. That they can come back and engage in these kind of missions, right?
Well, they can use the phone. We know that.
Right. Well, it is weird. It's like, what happens to these kids if no one solves the crime when payphones go away? That's bizarre. But there is this element where the dead can, like, interact with us. So the grabber becoming this undead creature made a lot of sense, right? I thought the setup and the idea was very good.
Yeah. Well, and to your point, Ethan Hawke is amazing. So
Ethan Hawke
anytime he's in a
rules.
movie, you're gonna love his character.
Yeah, and I love Derrickson and Cargill together. I think they make really fun horror movies, right? I love their style. I love the kind of things they're doing. Again, this could be just a product of they took a really short story and made it a movie. Now we're sequelizing and going to. I think the biggest issue with this movie, besides just the 100 illogical decisions, right? There's just something where everything in this movie felt like I was having psychic dreams.
Yeah.
Where you kind of know every step. There was no tension. I wasn't really involved. And honestly, it's kind of a carryover problem from Black Phone 1. I never really latched onto this family. Like, there was a child endangerment thing that obviously pulls you in. But now that they're older, I didn't like spending time with this family at all.
It seems like they kind of did the same beats, too. Like, like, in the first one, you got that, like, pumped-up feeling when you're like, oh, these fucking kids are going to help him break out of here. This is a great feeling. And then when you get that same feeling at the end of this movie, it's not the same. Like, when the kids reach up and grab his leg, it's like, well, you already kind of did that.
Yeah, and it's
like
the
the same
problem of
thing.
a sequel. Like, what's the new thing you added? The new thing they added is that the grabber is back from hell to wreak havoc on Finn. Yeah. That's cool.
And
it felt
Hell's
like there was
Ice.
just a lot of shit in this movie. It's a little bloated, to be fair. It feels like a 4-hour-long movie. Like, it was very slow and meticulous, which I'm good for a slow burn horror movie. I don't feel like in those slow moments, I got those extra things I wanted to sink me into these characters and the gravity of it. They're kind of really just cashing in on the kind of emotions we already felt in the first one when they're children. What did you think, Keith?
Okay, so I have to confess I have not seen the original Black Phone. Somehow I've missed it. So
well, you mostly saw it in this one.
I started a little bit behind the 8 ball, I suppose. I mean, I knew enough about the film just tangentially, having been aware of who's involved in the film, what it's about. And yeah, you pick it up as you get into the sequel. Most good sequels are aware enough to say we have to expect that many people that missed the first one, so it has to be accessible enough for someone uninitiated. I did still feel like I was trying to play catch up. It was tough to figure out exactly my grounding in the whole world. I think you said it. What I was feeling the whole time is that there was an egregious lack of tension.
Yes.
It felt like an addendum to a film rather than a sequel.
Yeah.
It was very anti-cinematic to me. There wasn't a lot of the set pieces just felt offbeat. There wasn't a lot of building to anything. Things would sort of happen. I was very disoriented throughout the whole film.
Well,
So
they
was
made it
tough for
seem
me.
like there was this big master plan that the grabber came up with, right? But the plan itself didn't make a lot of sense, and also like the kids just did it themselves. So I'm like, it's not really his plan to trap them there. They went up there to investigate their mother.
Right. Well, I think part of it that I can excuse, right? I do think it is a little clumsy because, again, the grabber is this spirit in hell. He talks about hell is different than you think, right? They take out all the human bits and the good, and all that's left is the sin. And the grabber says, I'm a bottomless well of sin, which I thought was a great moment.
That was a good line.
Right, so that was a cool line. So I think the grabber himself is coming back, and it is a little clumsy, right? He's trying to figure it out. I don't think he knows.
Well, no,
the
that's why it
rules.
took him 3 years, because it's 3 years since
3
the
years
murder,
after.
right? So
Yeah.
he had to remember his
He had
life.
to find his way back.
So
yeah.
but I feel like that's another flaw in the movie then, because it's like, so he remembered that he had a grudge against this kid, and now he's gonna go punish the kid. I'm like, that's kind of lame, right? He didn't even remember.
Well, how was that lame? That's Nightmare on Elm Street, right? Freddy got burned by these kids' parents, and he's coming back for their kids. That part I didn't think was lame at all. And again, I think the clumsiness of the grabber kind of makes sense. Again, I think the issue when you expand the mythology like this, right? One of the big issues in the film is, what are the fucking rules for these spirits, right? So the grabber can throw fucking snowballs and make snowball, window art of his face.
Yeah.
He can skate around the fucking ice and beat the shit out of these people. Why do you let them get the first body? Why not just fucking wax them all when they're asleep?
Well, yeah, why not just have killing blows with every blow? Like,
right, and I know he wants to, his serial killer MO, right, is that he likes to play with his food.
Yeah,
And
the fear is the warm
where
up.
he comes into the basement and he's interacting with Finn, he's taunting him, he's toying with him, because he feels invincible, right? These are his playthings to destroy.
Well, and he has that scene too where he like opens the door and lets Finn walk out, and he's sitting there acting like he's sleeping. So he's kind of like that in the first one too.
Right, and so I think they are getting at his MO, but in this one they say, when you have the kids, he has no power, right? Does he know that? If he knows that, because he's trying to defend the lake,
He does know that.
you
yeah.
got to fuck these people up
Because
fast.
they have the line where he says he's trying to take what power I have left. I have every right to defend myself. So he's
So he
aware
knows.
of what's going on.
So he should be fucking waxing these people immediately, because we see he can attack other people. Because if he could only attack the girl who has the dream visions, right? That makes perfect sense to me. She's the only one he can go after, so he has to put her in peril
Right.
to maneuver them around the chessboard. We see him fucking grab and beat up the Christian couple, so he can fucking hit other people in the real world.
But
we see Finn grab him and attack his
She does
invisible
need.
body.
So that's where the rules are a little bit shaky, because I think she does need to be asleep in order for him to do the stuff to the other people.
To activate him.
Yeah.
Right, but she's asleep, 3 to 4 times in this movie? Kill everyone that first night.
Yeah, exactly.
When she's walking around following dead kids, walk in and fucking slice some throats.
But it's all about the theater, man. You can tell this guy's
I
about
agree. But
the
again,
fear.
that's where the seams start to pull when they expand the mythology, is it starts to feel like, all right, we have to make a sequel. It reminded me of John Carpenter when he did Halloween 2, and he's like, fuck, I don't want to do another one, but this is my cash in on this great movie I made. And he talked about how he just got shit-faced every day drinking beer and just wrote the script super fast. And I think this one has a lot more thought into it, right? I think they really were going for an aesthetic. I think they wanted the slow burn. I think a little bit of this is the same issue I had with Conjuring Last Rites, where they thought we were so much more invested in the Warren family, right? So they did this whole, like, their family life segment of the movie. You're like, cut that hour out and get me to the fucking haunting.
I was so bored. I was bored to sleep, basically.
Yeah, my son, who was so excited to go see this, they watched Black Phone 1 and they were scared as shit. And I was like, I didn't get that vibe from it, but I was like, I'm also a fat adult. No one's putting me in a van. The kids watched it and were fucking terrified. I was like, yeah, if you're a kid, this is horrifying.
Right.
My son fucking fell asleep in the middle of this movie, which sucks, because you're like, this is the kind of movie you should be fucking gripping your thing. But again, I think they thought that we had this emotional connection to this family.
Like, we're tied to Finn and his sister.
Right, that we just didn't have. And I don't want to say it's the acting. It's just, it's a very...
The acting's bad.
I mean, maybe, but it's an off-putting family. Like, they're all mean to each other.
Yeah.
They kind of like each other. They're really mean to the dad who's trying to do better.
I kind of really like that. I think it's not so much the acting. I think it is just the dialogue. The script is just... It doesn't seem natural. It seems like they were trying to throw in a bunch of, like, 70s jargon, and it just seemed very, like, forced to me.
I agree with that. I think it probably works great on the page.
Yeah.
What they're saying...
I agree. I bet
the
this
mouths,
reads like a fucking beauty.
You think so?
There's
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of, like, scripture and... abandon hope, all ye who... Like, all these kind of, like, big literary references.
Right.
I bet it fucking crushes on
I
them.
agree, but so clunky when it's put in the mouths of these actors that can't quite deliver it. And in a scenario where that's not how people would be acting or what they would be saying or how they would be thinking whatsoever.
Well,
I think it's also exposed because they bring in the new, like, head of the camp, and he fucking crushes this movie.
Him, yeah.
And having him in scenes with these other actors, you do start to see this kind of, like... and that's, to be fair, most movies have unbalanced cast. You have your, like, Top Gun, and then, other people doing what they do. I felt like his addition, though, it really painted a very clear picture of, like, who is the great actor.
Well, and I forget that guy's name, but he won an Oscar on, like, one of his first American movies, right?
Damien Bashir, he was nominated for, I think,
for one,
Best Actor, like, 10
but
years
dude,
ago.
immediately when I saw him, I was pumped. I was like, oh, thank God.
He was so good.
And then
he
he
was
added
such a breath of fresh air.
But
Because, again, he was the guy who's like, I was in jail.
Yeah.
He's talking to Finn's, like, emotional state.
He had a full character.
Yes, and I thought that scene where he talked to Finn, I was like, that's the moment where I was like, that's what they're trying to do every scene in this movie. And a lot of them just didn't hit the way that one did. Maybe it's performance, maybe whatever. But, like, I think that's what they're going for this whole time. I think this movie's not as much about the grabber and the child endangerment. This is about the, Buzz Horward trauma. This is the trauma fallout of what happens when you experience something this fucking awful. Like, that kid had to kill a man.
Snoozer.
But yeah, we just weren't that invested.
It didn't feel like a horror movie. Where was the horror?
I mean, I think all of it's pretty fucking scary, right? If you're getting attacked by a serial killer ghost and seeing dead
I
kids,
thought the imagery was terrifying. I thought a lot of it.
I love the imagery of this movie.
But they weren't scared. There was no gravity.
That's what the problem I had.
There was no weight to any of this.
Especially Finn, man. And like the small character arc that he did have.
Finn was scared because at the end he cried, "I'm scared!"
I know, and it
was like Rocky. It was like when Randy Marsh is going to fight Bat Dad. He's like, "I'm scared!"
And I'm sure that in their minds, like, this is supposed to be a seminal moment where his armor cracks, but we could tell he was that guy the entire time.
So that scene to me was kind of a microcosm of like how this family doesn't work for me, because the dad shows up and he's like, "Hey, I beat alcoholism. I'm here to save my kids." And they're like, "Fuck you, Dad. Why don't you hit us with the belt again?" And you're like, Jesus Christ, this guy braved a blizzard. And then it's like, "Oh yeah," and Finn's like, "I'm scared."
Yeah, I'm
his
scared.
sister's just breaking.
And your wife did not kill herself. It was a lot to take in.
"Oh yeah, Dad, you want to talk about Mom? The grabber killed her." And he just goes, "What?" And they cut to an overhead shot and then cut to the next scene. And I was like, they didn't hug. They didn't cry. They didn't have that moment where they're like, "Let's fucking fight this guy."
Right?
He literally just goes, "What?" Like he's mad. And they cut away.
I couldn't believe how long that dialogue scene went on. That scene was so long.
Okay, so they have a couple of these. 'Cause I was telling you, my son was with my young son, and he just can't sit still in movies where he starts to get bored. And he's like, "Dad, I need more soda. Let's get a refill." It's like, all right. And we walk out right as they're in the chapel, right? They've seen the girl thrown around in this horrifying way, right? The Christian lady's like, "She's got a demon in her."
Which added up to nothing, by the way.
And they're trying to figure out, they're going to do the exposition dump, right? They're going to tell the whole story. We're going to learn, like, everyone knew the grabber worked at that camp. We knew. And I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, we're good. Because they're doing, like, what's WBH? And I was like, fuck, I'm going to miss all the important shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to come back, and it's going to be a ripping journey. And I missed a crucial moment in the movie. We went, got a soda, went pee, came back to the theater, and right as I walked in, which must have been minutes long, he goes, "That's Wild Bill. That's the grabber." And I was like, oh my God, this scene is still happening. This scene is still happening.
It was soap opera pace. Nothing happened for an hour. It was just going over the same tracks.
Well, it was like, I think the opening, we're showing Finn whooping people's ass, right? So they're mirroring his journey in the first one, which you didn't see, which was he was kind of bullied. And the guy who's dating the sister, his older brother, was like a tough guy who beat these kids up. And he's like, you got to handle bullies that way. And his ghost came back and talked him through the grabber and taught him the combo to like punch the guy, right?
Yeah.
So they're showing how he's taken on this persona to be like a new, tougher Finn, right? And kids fuck with him. And the sister's psychic abilities have now labeled her or whatever.
She's a witch.
Yeah, and it's just like there's just, but this is where there's a long stretch. I don't like any of these characters. And I'm like, oh, this is getting long in the tooth for me, right?
Yeah.
Then they just go back to like the grabber's house a bunch, and I was like, they even had the grabber burns in hell, right? Which was an obvious Carrie reference to me, except for in Carrie, when Carrie did that, they fucking bulldoze her house. There's no way that house still exists for them to just walk into. Like that's
when it's
insane.
open to where she could sleepwalk into it.
Yeah, and then he's just like, "Hey, I saw you sleepwalking. I followed you to the grabber's basement." It's like you didn't catch her before she went into the basement where you were fucking caught and captured.
Is that? I was having not seen the first one, I was confused. I thought that was the basement to their house.
No, that's the grabber's basement where he keeps the kids in the mattress and the phone was there.
That's where like 90% of the movie took place.
There's no fucking chance that house still exists for kids, and there's no way Finn lets his sister go back in that basement where he was traumatized. It's one of those. The movie has, like, just off the top of my head, right? Why would the camp counselor go back at 3 a.m. and try to break the ice on his own?
Yeah, why not wait till dawn like they do every other day?
He gets hypothermia and he is just fine. He doesn't have frostbite or anything. He's just back in action the next day. How about this? The grabber killed these kids, 10, 15 years ago? And he's just walking through the ice and he's like, there's one. Like, no one found these fucking bodies.
Well,
they're
dude.
Like, we looked in the lake, and they're like, oh, we didn't look in the second lake where fucking camp activities happen.
You didn't hear that gem of the dialogue piece where the guy's like, oh, there was no reason to look in the lakes because the murders happened in winter, and there's no way they could have gone into the lakes.
Right, in a place where they specifically say they have ice fishing equipment.
I know, but that was the line. That saved
people in Colorado would know this. And there's just... There is a long series of decision-making in this movie where it's like some of them you can massage, right? You always have to give a movie 1 or 2. This one was like 20 decisions where people are doing stuff, and I was like, come the fuck on. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Come on. They didn't bring like a lighter to burn her to wake her up when they're out on the ice. Like, they don't have an immediate way to wake her up.
I know.
They don't have a fucking taser, like anything.
Well, they didn't know anything about... They didn't have a plan.
Well, that's what
they were just like, let's wing it and see what happens.
If you're fighting a fucking serial killer demon that was a child murderer and probably more, and you're chasing out on this lake where you're going to find his bodies, you're never going to be out there at dark. You're going to have fucking, crack or whatever to keep this girl awake. You're never letting her fall asleep again.
Yeah.
Right to your point, if her sleeping is what activates him,
do
they not have a
It's
fucking
not just her life
pot?
that's in danger, it's your life too.
Yeah, do they not have a coffee
But I have a
pot
better
to
question
keep her
for you,
up
man.
Forever?
I got a better question for you. After all of this is said and done, the movie's over. Has anything changed at all? Or could they just do a third one that's the exact same story?
I wonder.
Because is he still in hell?
I do think. Here's an anecdotal piece of evidence. I think this movie's going to make a fucking ton of money. I think The Black Phone was very popular. My brother and his wife, they go see maybe 1 or 2 movies a year in theater. I think the last thing they saw in theater was Wicked, right? They out of nowhere were like, oh shit, we want to see The Black Phone too. And they don't ever go to the movies, but something about that movie really sat with them, right?
The marketing is really good.
Okay, so that's a great point. Do you think this movie and the pacing was a little killed by the trailer?
Yes.
I saw everything that was cool in this movie in the fucking trailer.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Except for the kids getting hunted down. Those scenes were very reminiscent of Sinister, and I thought were fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
Derrickson and them and Cargill, they have a great ability to get those like really haunting moments of people's last couple minutes on Earth.
But
it
was done in such a montagey way. They weren't actually scenes.
Well, I know they're dreamlike though. I thought that imagery was fantastic.
That's
when those hit, I was like, now we're in the movie.
The imagery was fine, but I didn't know who these kids were. That you knew
nobody did at that point.
Well, we know they're kids, and there's something about kids in danger.
Yeah, I think it's that instinct.
It pulls you in more, I think.
It's just truly terrifying to see a ghost kid above anybody else.
Yeah, or just like kids being, like when they're all in the woods and that bright light comes on, and all of a sudden they're doing the like, they turn and they take off running. That is one of the scariest things I've seen in a movie in forever. Again, it's just like...
But there's no context to it.
It's these little bits of water. See, I don't think you need it when it's a kid. It's a kid at a Christian summer camp who we know has gotten murdered. And we see them like getting stabbed. We see them getting dismembered.
And you do see the guy, and you can kind of assume it's the grabber based on his hair.
Immediately. There's no universe where this isn't the grabber.
It seems like movie? Ethan Hawke,
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't know? It didn't get you?
You're not now enticed to go watch Black Phone?
I thought it was very tedious the whole way. Okay, I'll just say it. Oh, I hate to say this.
Say it.
I'm going to say it.
Be honest.
Say it.
We'll get another shitty message. It's fine.
I have not yet seen Tron Ares, but this is the worst studio movie I've seen all year.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
The worst.
That's crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah, I guess Hell House lineage doesn't
It's
count
not
as
a studio, yeah.
Sorry, Cognetti again. Where's my poster? Where's my son's poster?
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
I'm trying to think. The worst studio movie of the year?
That I've seen. Yeah.
Damn. No, Tron Ares has to be worse.
Tron Ares is probably worse.
I would assume.
There's not a thing in that trailer where I was like... I was like, I'll just listen to the 9 Inch Nails soundtrack on Spotify.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, I do want that motorcycle popcorn bucket. Did you guys see that?
No. Yeah, it looks
dope.
It looks like it holds 15 kernels of popcorn.
I know, but it just looks cool. It's like the popcorn is the wheels. Or are the wheels? How do you say that?
This is who. Whenever I see those, I'm like, who the fuck spends $40 on these? Sam.
I would, yeah.
The Sams of the world, yeah.
I'd already bought my popcorn, so.
Worst studio? I'm going to have to look at a list. I'm sure there are dog shit ones we just haven't seen.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's the worst that I've seen.
Yeah.
That I've seen. I was just
actually,
so underwhelmed.
I will say The Conjuring Last Rites was dramatically worse.
I missed that one.
That's true.
I thought that was This one still has moments that are very effective. The imagery's great. I think the aesthetic is great throughout. I was vibing a lot of this movie. Conjuring Last Rites, I mean, it was like having my pubes plucked out.
That one was very boring. Like, okay, so I kind of actually...
And that one felt like it was 6 hours. This one felt like it was like 3
I want to
hours.
lump these two together because I have the same feeling. I would rather watch Black Phone 2. Like, it was more of an enjoyable movie.
Yes.
But they felt very similar in the fact that they're beautiful shot. Like, everything seems good, but there's just nothing there.
Well, again, it's the power of when you have the budget to make horror like this. Most horror we get is lower budget, right? It comes in, it's trying to break through the cracks. Horror is an overachiever genre, right? Like, you get more movie for less money. This and Conjuring Last Rites had the same problem. They're fucking bloated because they had successes before, so they can do everything they want. This one definitely, it was like watching a Judd Apatow movie. You're like, you could cut 45 minutes out of this movie
for sure.
Definitely.
and not hurt this film. But again, you see, like, the production value is great. The set pieces are cool. Like, when they're throwing her around the room,
I disagree.
You didn't like the set?
incredible.
No, I like.
I
Derrickson.
wanted to stay at that camp. I liked it so much.
I like Derrickson. I think he's an amazing director.
Yep.
This felt so just. It was just so off, and I thought what is it, like the volume or whatever they use, or the green screen.
Yeah.
I get that that's what you have to do if you're going into this wintry setting or whatever. It felt so synthetic. It just felt so lifeless to me.
There is a grunginess to the first one, that basement, and the kind of flesh on fleshness of that one, that this movie did sorely lack, right? Like, I get that. But again, I think it's the difference of you see the fucking muscle behind these. Because, like, this, Conjuring, and 28 years later, like,
Those are
there's
the big
certain
ones,
horror
yeah.
movies you see that are just fucking enormous.
Yeah.
And again, I think the problem is that when you're sequelizing, there's this, I'm going to cash in on the great work I did. I'm going to make the movie exactly how I want. And that's fucking great. But I think one of the best parts of filmmaking is that a writer writes a script, the director and producers come in and they kind of tweak it, the actors add their thing, the editors adjust it. There are so many people that have authorship in a movie.
Yeah.
There's those layers of decision making that sometimes completely cripple a movie. But I think in the best examples of film, all those voices streamlined to make the best version of the story possible. And again, there's probably more version of studio interference than the good version of that. This one sorely needed someone to come in and say, hey, is this her movie or his movie?
Yeah.
If it's a two-hander, why are we with the dad? Why are we doing anything with the counselor?
Yeah,
Like,
why are we doing anything with the
we
dad?
gotta fucking lock in on what this movie is. We gotta trim this movie by at least 30 minutes. We gotta fucking lock in on what are the rules of this fucking guy.
And how about some actual
What's happening?
scares?
See, that's the thing. I do think there were scares.
When?
Right? Like, I think the kids' dreams were scary.
I thought that. How about let's hire a sound designer? Think about how great Sinister is and how
Yeah.
effective that sound design is. Even just like hearing the projector.
This is different, though. This is, in my mind, I thought they did a good job in the sense that this one isn't so much about the jump scares. This one is more the concept of you're trapped in this freaking house
I don't-
and you can't do anything about it.
I agree with that, because the thing about some of the Derrickson movies that drives me nuts are the jump scares. Because I think jump scares are kind of cheap and fun in the theater, but they never work the same on repeat viewings. Not every jump scare is that Exorcist 3 moment that never stops.
I'm not even asking for a jump scare. I am asking for atmosphere. You couldn't even, like, it's blistery winter. There's no atmosphere in any
I
of those
disagree.
outdoor scenes.
I disagree
I love
totally.
winter horror, but it never feels like it's cold. It never feels like winter.
I totally disagree with you guys on that. I felt like the atmosphere was what led to the idea of isolation in this movie.
I mean, maybe,
I'm not
but then
talking about the setting.
Dad just shows up.
I'm
like,
talking about the execution of the setting.
Well, I mean, I thought it was good. Like, everything was at night. They focused on the windows a lot, and it was the constant pounding wind and snow hitting it. It felt like
you never heard the wind or snow.
I did.
When they were inside. When they were outside, you didn't.
Well,
hear anything.
okay, yeah, that. Yeah, I will agree with you. Yeah, the scenes where he was
All
like
you hear is
smoking
their
joints.
ADR.
You
I
gotta
know,
hear ADR. Well, it's not even
Yeah.
ADR because they're in a fake.
I know. And
Yeah, that's
when
true.
they were out on the
Yeah,
ice,
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't seem very.
They just
yeah.
use AI to take all that.
That is a good
fucking
point.
fan
They did a
noise
good
out.
job inside though of making you feel
See,
trapped.
Again, that's
It's
not,
a sound. It's a soundstage movie. They're on sound
I know.
stages, and you're supposed to be outside in this like creepy, remote, wintry hellscape.
Valid point,
and
yeah.
you don't feel it at all. It is so.
It does
weightless.
feel surprisingly small. It feels like they're walking around everywhere super easy. Again, I think what I would say, right, is again, I think there's another issue, which is when the whole movie's like only bad stuff happens during the dreams, it's inherently less impactful.
Yes.
When the grabber comes in and is in the same room as Finn and can rip his fucking head off at any time, it's inherently scarier than a dream. When you're in an unreality, and they play with the, do you die in a dream? And it's like, well, we've had what, 8, 9 Nightmare on Elm Street movies that have already done this. Like, we already saw it in The Matrix. Like, this is very common tread ground. So it's, if everything is a dream, who cares?
Also,
like, that's a problem.
Also, I think it suffers greatly from not understanding, to your point, whose POV we're supposed to be in.
Right.
And when we are in, I'm sorry, what's her name? Grace? Greta?
Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I
So
don't know
another
anyone's
problem,
name.
yeah.
Mondo was the counselor.
the sister, who was primarily the main character, when we are in her dream world and seeing what she's feeling and seeing through her eyes, I don't feel what she's feeling. She's just sort of floating through. And then we're also popping out of that and seeing that perspective from other people's POV.
Her name is Gwen.
Thank you.
Gwen.
I don't know. It just there's just something off about it every single beat, and it never like sunk its teeth in for me and said, "Okay, this is what I want you to feel." It was very observational, and I like a movie to be very experiential.
Well, it seemed like every character was very detached
Very detached
from what was
Yeah.
happening.
They've been there, done that,
Yeah.
and that's what it felt like. It felt like, oh, this is a retread, and I hadn't even seen the original.
Yeah, it's that post-trauma movie. And if you're going to do the trauma movie, you got to have actors that can fucking bring you to those depths.
But I'm
like
not
right now it's a 3.3 on Letterboxd, which I'm guessing is way lower than it would be expecting.
Yeah.
Right? And it's I think that's the thing, man. It's just they tried a lot of cool, but also like there's just something so fucking stupid about seeing the grabber ice skate. Like it just looks stupid. Like I remember there's a great old horror movie called Curtains, right? Where this lady wears like this old hag mask and she's skating and chasing someone down with a sickle, and it's a cool scene. There is something about seeing the grabber with like his own little Elsa skates, right? Like made out of ice. I was like, dude, this is
he had some gnarly looking feet, yeah.
I mean, yeah, but show me the growth. It's one of those things where you're like, God, this just looks...
Well, dude, he was the ice
just
skating
looks stupid.
coach, wasn't he?
Yeah, at the camp when he was a
in the
fucking...
script.
He's like middle-aged now. Like, wouldn't he have joint problems? Like, it just... I gotta say, that's one of those things I saw in the trailer, and I was like, maybe that'll be like a dream moment. That's fine.
Nope, that was real.
He's fucking skating like he's Frozone from The Incredibles.
Yeah.
For the entire last,
With
like,
the
20-minute set piece. And I was like, this is... so fucking lame. I was like,
There
if
was
they had
never-
known that, just bring sticks.
There was never
Throw sticks all over the
any
ice and
point
trip him.
in that climax that I felt like there was anyone in real danger.
Well, when the dad jumped into the ice, I was like, oh, he's fucked. He
Yeah,
jumped
he'll die of
into the water.
hypothermia. He just has a mechanic shirt on.
I know.
But no,
I
he's
was like,
fine. Because the
he was
cold's
totally
not real on
fine.
the soundstage.
Yeah.
the
But
only
again, I think this is a question. I'd love to ask your guys' question this. We watch horror movies relentlessly. We're trying to make horror movies. We're writing horror movies. I do think it's an issue that I struggle with in these movies sometimes, but I don't know how you fix it. Most horror movies are kind of foregone conclusions, right? Most movies you watch, you kind of know who's safe, who's not. It's very rare that you're shocked by like, oh my God, I didn't think that character could die, and they do. There are so many movies I like where like I never really feel like anyone's in danger. You know what I mean? Do you guys feel that when you watch horror movies?
No, not at all. I mean, that's the point of horror movies. That
Right, but
you
like
do
I
feel like
love,
they're in danger.
like let's say Event Horizon. I never thought Lawrence Fishburne was going to die in that movie. Like I kind of knew how that movie would go, right? Think of other great, like when I watch Halloween, I don't think Laurie Strode's going to get it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I think this is a
Oh,
problem.
I
Like,
get what you're saying.
I think we bash horror movies a lot for this, but I think if you go back through a lot of the best horror movies, I don't think we ever really feel like certain characters are going to die. I think what we do is we transpose our own fears on there. So it's a fear that we could die in real life.
I see it totally differently. You want to talk about Halloween? A great example when she is stuck in that closet. She's terrified for her life. He busts through the drywall. She, hangers him or whatever, and then he's hopefully dead or what, just like not a threat behind her. She's heaving. She's trying to recover. You feel the weight of like the situation that she
Right,
was
but
in.
when you're watching that movie, did you think she was going to die? No, we know
That's
she's
not the
gonna
point.
die.
Like if it's a well done movie, you're not necessarily trying to game it out like that. You are just experiencing it with the character, and
right,
so
I
you're
think that's
forgetting
what
that.
it is you start transposing your own fears. Like, what if I was in this situation?
That's just a good movie. Period.
But then every once in a while they do, like Gladiator got me, dude. I didn't think he was going to die. At
The
all.
Gladiator, you thought he was just gonna live without a wife and kids
Dude,
and be pumped.
so in my mind,
the whole thing is him fucking rubbing his hand on wheat, wanting to go
at
home.
the
There's
end,
no home.
That's how you look back at it. But in my mind, he was gonna.
He has the visions when he's cut and he's taken to the slave camp. He's fucking touching wheat. He wants to go home. There's no fucking home. His kids are dead. His wife and kids are dead.
Yeah, but I did not think he was gonna die, dude. And I didn't get that from the visions, the Fields of Elysium or whatever.
Guys, the point.
Let's go through every movie we love and talk about who we thought was gonna die.
The point,
no, like 7, right? Like you did not expect Gwyneth Paltrow's head in that box.
Right.
That's such a rare thing in a movie.
Yeah.
I
And it's
know,
great.
but that is not the point of what movies should do. It's not about subverting your expectation. Although that,
You're talking
that's
about emotional
satisfying.
transference.
Yes, I'm
We
talking.
should be emotionally on the same bandwidth
Yes,
as the journey.
and that's what I'm saying. This movie did not do. I could not access the emotion of these characters because, first of all, they were very wooden, in my opinion. They were too philosophizing. They were too inhuman and not really experience it. First of all, if you're going to do something that's so out of the realm of our known reality, you have to pull me in emotionally. That's the magic trick. That's what's going to sell me on believing that this could possibly happen and forget that it's so, out of this reality.
I mean, I see what you're saying. Like, I did have no emotional empathy with these characters, right?
Yeah, that's a
But
problem.
like, I think back to Nightmare on Elm Street, probably the greatest dream movie of all time, right?
Yeah.
Maybe if you like What Dreams May Come and you like that kind of Encarta 96 look. Whatever. I don't know that, again, in the Nightmare on Elm Street, I was sharing a lot of empathy with Nancy or any of those characters, but Freddy was so fucking cool. It was so novel to see the dream world.
And you do get that a little bit.
The scares are fucking horrifying. We've all had bad nightmares, right?
The Grabber's a bit like that.
No, this movie is just
It's basically, yeah.
It's Timu Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, fine, but Nightmare on Elm Street is fun. This movie was not.
That's a great, indisputable point. Like, that movie's super fun. And again, I think the set pieces, the kills,
Yeah.
like, Freddy Krueger's probably the greatest horror movie monster we've ever made.
Well, and the iconic, his killing device was what also made him badass.
Which is weird because
the glove hand.
Yeah, he does kill with it a lot, but not how you'd think. Cause
Like, this dude just
that's the
uses
thing with
whatever.
Freddy Krueger, it's not a killing device. That's a fucking torture device. That's a dragging the claws and
But
seeing.
if
the
you
blood
think
flow.
about it,
That's
man,
weird.
every great killer has their item. Like Michael Myers has the kitchen knife.
Right, that
Freddy,
he just gets in every kitchen. It's not like the same.
but that makes sense because it's in everyone's kitchen, right?
Damn.
Jason
Yeah,
has the machete. Freddy has his hands. Leatherface has the chainsaw. What the hell does the Grabber have, dude? His hands?
He's got. These are called grabbers.
The
Sam,
grabbers?
for a reason. These are grabbers.
The Grabber didn't even kill anyone in this movie.
Well, he did 10 years ago. Or
Well,
whatever.
yeah, but that's backstory.
The grabber's like on a fixed income. He's like a retirement home
No,
killer.
hey, wait. Did he not kill those two Christian?
Well, I wanted him to kill them.
He beat him up.
I
The
thought
lady
that's why
busted
they
her
were in the
nose.
movie, just to get killed.
Well, so that's the thing. When they're like, "There's 4 other people here," I was like, "Cool, they're all gonna
They're
get
all
killed."
going to die.
No one.
Nobody died.
I'm pretty sure
Nobody
no
died.
one dies in
No,
this.
nobody.
Although technically, Morrow and the dad should have died of fucking hypothermia.
Oh, yeah, they may die right after the credits.
You cannot be in frozen water for like 2 because that's the thing. They're like, she wakes up, she's like, "Morrow's in the water," and he was like getting drowned by the grabber. And you're like, how fast did they get to that lake?
Well,
to
yeah,
drag
like,
his ass out? and
how
then
far
pull
away
him
is the
back?
lake? Yeah,
Well,
how long
also,
has he been there?
That was another thing in that scene. They all ran up to the hole. I was like, "Where's the cart? Where's the fucking bobcat? Like, what are they? Like, they're gonna drag his ass back, and he's not dying of hypothermia."
Oh, they
so
prob-
maybe the grabber kills them down the road, or maybe the stress of it gives someone a heart attack. So maybe he has some victims.
Maybe.
Sucked.
I think Heath's attention span was the number one thing the grabber killed in this movie, and my son because he fell asleep. Again, I feel like we're shitting on this a lot. I do not think this is one of like the top 5 least fun I've had in the theaters this year. There were moments that really sunk in with me. Like, Derrickson's just too good, right? For me to just kind of not get anything out of it.
I think that was part of my issue. Is I was just disappointed.
You expected
because
more.
yeah, I did. I expected more. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone was, but I have to say, the moment I saw the trailer, I kind of got that initial whiff of, ooh, I don't know about all this. Like, there were things in the trailer, and again, just the trailer even telling you, hey, do you want, like, a Nightmare on Elm Street? 'Cause we haven't had one of those in years.
Basically.
I kind of knew what I was getting into. Again, the glossy hollowness of it I thought was weird, especially how much of it was analog. But I didn't like these kids or the dad in the first movie. I wasn't expecting a lot out of that. I got some Ethan Hawke. I got some cool dream imagery. Like, It wasn't
Okay.
as like completely empty as some things I've seen.
What was your best Ethan Hawke moment in this movie?
Well, okay, so if I had one problem with the movie is that Ethan Hawke's covered the whole time.
Yeah.
So a lot of times it felt like it might not have been Ethan Hawke on the film. Like
Right.
It looked like kind of makeup, or maybe they like added him in. The best Ethan Hawke moment is the first time he's right outside of the glass talking to Finn. And he's like, you made me kill my brother. Because then you got that like, oh, there's Ethan Hawke. He's in the thing. That was the best Ethan Hawke moment in the movie to me. The rest of it, he's kind of walking around. He's so covered up.
I liked it when he entered her dream and led her to the van and showed her the mother's death. I thought that was a good performance.
That was cool. But that was the other, not Ethan Hawke. That was
That
the
might
young
not have
version.
been Ethan Hawke.
And then in the back when he's in there, it almost looked like if you asked AI to make a version of what was it, Emotep Joe from Mad Max that won't get you flagged for copyright.
Yeah.
And Morton Joe. That's what
And
it
Morton
was.
Joe, yeah.
Yeah, he looked like that.
I thought he looked very sleepy. I thought he was kind of like had too much to eat. You know, he was just
Well,
like
'cause they never
going
asked
into
him
a
to act.
food coma.
He probably did his whole movie in like a fucking sound booth.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't acting.
well, it was just
in a
all
lot of
jaw
that.
work. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if that was Ethan Hawke skating, that's pretty impressive. That's cool.
Well,
I doubt
He
it.
did the voiceover at least.
Well, right, he did the voice, and again, he delivers his lines like the master he is.
Yeah.
And it's great, but again, I think you lose a lot if the character's called the Grabber, and he abducts children and all this. That's fucking scary. When he's not grabbing, but fucking skating and pirouetting through the movie, it loses some fucking punch.
And like
it inarguably
clipping people.
this movie loses so much of that fucking flesh on flesh that the first one had. The entire
grittiness.
premise of what that character is not as cool when you transpose him to the dream world. But this is the thing. It's the exact same story as Nightmare on Elm Street. It was a child abductor and murderer who becomes a fucking killer spirit.
And speaking of Nightmare on Elm Street, one of the great tricks of that whole franchise is not knowing the transition into the dream world.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know
Yeah.
yet that we are dreaming, and then once it starts to showcase that, then it's like, oh shit, I got deeper down the rabbit hole before I realized.
Right.
But it
That's
looks
now this
exactly
is
Then
scary.
Nancy kind of nods off in class, and she goes in the hall, and there's Tina in a body bag, and the legs lift up.
Exactly.
And one of the best horror movie
Right,
moments
that's
ever.
so scary. This telegraphs immediately. We are in Super 8 filter,
Mm-hmm.
and we know that it's a dream automatically. So I'm sort of taken out of any kind of tension right away
Well,
because I know
again,
it's a dream.
The other thing Nightmare on Elm Street does is if you're doing if you die in a dream, do you die in real life? Nightmare on Elm Street kills a fucking ton of people
Right.
in their dreams that die in horrible.
we already
and
know.
they don't even introduce that possibility until more than halfway through the film.
I think that's a little bit inside baseball on their part, where they know every horror fan that's coming to this movie has seen Nightmare on Elm Street, at least one. So I think in their mind, we already know that gag, so why mess with it? They love that Super 8 aesthetic.
Here's a question for you though. If this is like a new horror movie for the newer generations, having not seen Freddy, would you have enjoyed this movie more? Just the concept of it not being in your head
I
already.
think to Heath's point, I don't think this is a horror movie aimed at younger generations.
No.
Because in the era of kids who just watch TikToks and Reels all day,
It's very slow.
this movie's going to
Yeah.
lose a
It's
lot
very
of
slow.
people. This is
Yeah.
going to...
Yeah.
And again, to Heath's point, there's not very many of those really fun in-theater reaction moments that you get out of like a jump scare, right? Like you get those out of something. This is not like the audience is like, oh.
The few
Like,
they had
we
were
always
kind
take
of
my
weak.
mom to the horror movies with us, and it's a fucking blast because my mom, when she gets scared, she does that, ooh!
Yeah.
Like she got punched in the stomach, and we all jump, and we're like, yeah, woo! I don't think there's a scene in this. Maybe the kid sliding out from under the bed, but I already saw
I
that.
thought
in the
that
was in
was,
the
I thought
trailer.
that looked like photoshopped or something. It looked weird.
It was because they did that like jittery.
That like the jittery thing.
yeah,
did not
looked,
do it
that,
for me.
That didn't work.
You know what was
all.
that exact same effect was way scarier in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Well, because in that one, I mean, and it kind of reminded me of like David Lynch. Like if David Lynch does something like that,
Yeah.
it's like odd and on purpose.
Right. Yeah. It's
Right.
I feel like
We
this was
talked
just
about
they
this
were
a
trying
lot.
to be scary and it wasn't
There
scary.
are a lot of people that try Lynchian stuff.
yeah.
If it's not your native tongue,
Yeah.
Don't
That's
fuck
fucking
with it,
hard,
yeah.
man.
It just looks bad then. Yeah.
like David Lynch was making movies about coffee shops and shit that were fucking terrifying because something in that man's eye and his mind made them fucking terrifying.
He was terrifying. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just, again, I think I want this movie to do well because I want big horror movies, right? I think it's incredible when you see horror movies they get that extra 10, 20 million dollars, what you can achieve with it. I think this and Conjuring this year are both examples of
What
not
not to shoot for?
utilizing those assets to, because again, they have all the big production stuff that we can't get. But it doesn't equate to anything.
What was Sinners? Was that like 50 million?
Oh God, that had to be huge.
You know, I just saw the budget on that. I think it was 80 or 90.
Hey, okay.
I think it was
That's
just under
fucking
100.
crazy. But again, that movie earns
That's a good
every
example of
fucking
what you
dollar.
can do.
And again, I
Yeah.
bet this movie makes a ton. I know Conjuring made a bunch of money. The real question I left the theater with is, who is going to want to go see Black Phone 3?
Yeah.
Like, who would want to see that again?
Not me.
You should watch
he's
Black
not
Phone
even going
1.
to fucking see Black Phone 1.
You should watch Black Phone 1. Yeah.
You know, I did purposefully sleep on Black Phone 1 because I really don't like movies about kids.
Oh, okay.
You just hate kids.
You know,
The kids are cool in Black Phone 1, though. They're not like little
Are they?
brats.
No, they're not. They're these kids, and
yeah,
they suck.
Yeah, they suck.
Well,
right?
yeah, but it's different. I feel like Black Phone 1 is so much better.
Oh, Black Phone
Like, you're
1,
you're focused
it's
more
a
on
really,
Finn.
really effective, great movie.
And he's a young kid, so, like,
Yeah.
he's acting like
He
a young
looks like
kid.
he's like maximum 13 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you
And
feel a
the
lot
girl's
more
like,
for him.
And that's the other thing in this one, when the girl's like doing the, have you always been such a self-righteous cunt?
Yeah.
That works way better when it's like a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Right? When she's like 8 years old saying that, like, that's fucking funny.
She seems self-righteous when she says it when she's like 16 or whatever. Yeah.
yeah. And she doesn't do that at the whole start of the movie. Then she goes to the cam, she's like, you fucking cunt, twat. And it's like, oh, I remember that from the first one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, again, if you're going to spend all that money, what is it adding? If it just makes it look cooler, right? Like, I watched that movie and I was like, we couldn't in our wildest dreams achieve anything
I thought it looked like shit.
But
It looked like shit.
There are so many movies I've watched that are so much cheaper that are way fucking scary. The movie we're going to talk about next week, The Man with the Black Umbrella, that movie couldn't have even cost $50,000.
Right.
It achieves so much more than this movie. And that's kind of the
huge,
thing.
big time.
Terrifying.
That's
Yeah.
the thing that's beautiful about horror, though, is that you don't need all the extra money to achieve what you're saying, the atmosphere, the making us afraid. And so that's kind of the great leveling of horror movies. That's why everyone wants to make indie horror movies, because it's hard to make an indie drama when you don't have actors that can carry it. It's hard to make indie sci-fi because you can't fucking do space shit, right? Horror movies, really cheap horror movies, can way outkick big budget horror movies. And I think Black Phone 2 is one of those examples of, God, you had everything at your disposal, and that's what we got.
Drop the bag.
I thought it looked cool. I know Heath hates it. It did feel very hollow and like not like they were actually in a
I thought
snowy
it
world.
looked cool. I was just disappointed with the story. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, though, worst studio movie of the year, I'm going to have to crank on that a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That
I don't.
feels bizarre.
I'm not going to go quite that far because
Also,
I
we
I
only
enjoyed
watch
it.
horror movies for this pod. It's hard to go see other movies.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know
Yeah.
what rom-coms came out and shit the bed this year.
Well,
I'm sure there's-
again, I'm not saying it is the worst studio movie. I'm sure that is a long list. But again, to your point,
But, like, is this the
that we
worst
see, that
studio
we've seen.
horror movie since Night Swim? Like, what's the
Yeah.
last, like, big studio horror movie that absolutely sucked?
I'll have to go back.
Besides
check
The
my
Conjuring.
letterbox.
Which I think The
Yeah.
Conjuring's the worst one I saw this year.
I don't know.
Even The Monkey, which wasn't my jam particularly.
I got to say, I liked Freakier Friday better than this one.
You saw Freakier
I
Friday.
did see Freakier Friday. Speaking of rom-coms or whatever.
I think that's like a Sam's on the same list as The Grabber when a guy like Sam walks into Freakier Friday
Hey,
by
I was
himself.
doing dialysis, taking my mom to dialysis. It was the only movie that was playing. I saw the original, and it wasn't bad.
Yeah, no, I agree. I did not like the monkey either. I was not a fan, but at least the monkey was trying something.
Yeah, and
I
I
guess
feel
this
like The
movie was-
Monkey paid off mostly what it was going
Yeah,
for.
right.
And it had, and again, I think Osgood Perkins is kind of in that. He's not David Lynch. I'm not going to say that, but he has that. There's something
a
about
weirdness.
his eye,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the way he makes movies that's always engaging, even if they don't
Yeah.
all the way work for me.
Yeah,
Like they're just fun to watch, and I always thought Derrickson was like that too.
right.
This one felt really phoned in.
This one,
Nice.
no, this one felt like a bad HBO limited series aesthetic to me. It didn't feel cinematic. It didn't feel like it was made for the theater.
Like
Yeah.
if Vice decided to make a narrative.
Vice News.
No,
Just like all the filters and shit. Is that what you're talking about?
yeah, the filters weren't great.
Yeah.
Again, it's just shooting something that's supposed to be in this kind of like cold climate on a lake, and you're doing it all on a soundstage with a big fucking green screen behind you. just it doesn't work.
Yeah, because The Shining was all on a soundstage when it was snowy, right? Do you think that was a real?
Do you think that works for any movie though? Because when you say something like that, it makes me think of like the the prequels to Star Wars. Did it work for those movies?
But here's the difference.
Have you seen the prequels? Nothing worked for those
So I mean,
movies.
for me that worked, but for me this worked for me.
But
I think I'm the person that this
at
works
least
on.
in those films, they are creating a world that doesn't exist.
That doesn't exist, yeah.
This is a world we know.
That's why I'm asking.
That is supposed to be tangible.
we could buy a plane ticket to Colorado.
You could go to Colorado and
just
look at it.
do it in a real location.
On the
But
opposite,
you can't do that with all the snow, especially now in our fucking infinitely hot world.
well, yeah, global warming, but I mean, I'm just gonna go ahead and say that worked for me. I thought it looked good. So that there's a difference between
I
us.
thought you could see the money.
But I thought Star Wars looked good, so maybe that's my problem. Yeah.
That is Sam's problem. That's shitty.
I mean, I didn't
All
think it looked good. I thought it worked for Star Wars.
I think we've fucking beaten this franchise more than they did. What was the most messed up moment, Sam?
For me, all right.
No, for someone else.
Well, I don't know about anybody else, but for me, just like as always, the most messed up moment in these type of movies is when they get the unsuspecting dude, the guy that was her love interest.
Yep.
And he has to go on this journey with him. And he somehow gets roped into all this bullshit. It's a lot of messed up moments.
There's a lot of that. I was like, man, how much?
There's a lot of these.
How much is trying to get laid worth?
Yeah.
I tried to think back to high school. I was like, he's buying fucking Duran tickets. He's
Right.
going and
But
getting
see,
attacked by a fucking ghost child murderer.
That was the dialogue I liked too. All their interactions seemed like something I would say to a girl, like when he's like, "Oh, I don't think it's weird that you're a witch," and like they're into this tarot
so,
stuff.
To be
I'm
fair,
like,
my sons kept leaning over and going, "That's Riz.
That's Riz.
That's Riz." So they
Dude,
thought
when
that
we were
they had
driving
Riz.
home, Hunter was like, "That one guy, he had so much Riz." The guy that was trying to hit on that girl, and I
And
was
you're
like,
like, Hunter, if you're having to buy women gifts
like, that's
and
not Riz,
try to
dude.
fight ghosts for them, that's not Riz. Run. That's the
shouldn't
red
have
flag.
to fight-
As your father, yeah. Don't.
"You shouldn't have to fight Freddy Krueger to get a date." That's what I should say.
You can just wait till you're old enough and buy it. Don't get involved in that.
Okay,
That was mine.
so what was the actual messed up moment then?
Just the boyfriend getting sucked
Well,
in.
okay, so my actual messed up moment was like like the very first time where he's watching her and he's just like, I was first off thinking how boring it'd be to just have to watch her sleep
For 4
forever.
hours before phones,
and then
yeah.
her arm starts getting cut and the blood just starts pouring out. For me, that was the most, because there's like nothing he can do.
He
I thought that
barely
stuff was
reacted.
great.
He barely reacted to that though.
But that's how I would be like, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
I do think there's like a gun shyness thing. You'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Right?
Because he's trying to cover it. He's like, Fan, get the fuck over
Well,
here.
he eventually goes and grabs her leg when like he's gonna put her in the oven,
Dude,
right?
how about that? The grabber is about to put her in the oven, and everyone in that room just went, oh.
They're just like
It's
that.
like
That's a
fucking
different
hell.
scene, but yeah, that's another one. But
I
anyways.
thought that was a cool moment.
Okay.
Yeah, again, I think a lot of that stuff works for me really well. If I had to pick a most messed up moment, it's every time they showed one of those kids, the camera, like the light on top of the camera, those old, like really harsh lights light up, and you see a kid just in the snow, and you're like, why are all these kids out in the middle of fucking night at Christian camp? Shouldn't they be in there like fucking singing hymns and shit? And they turn and they look and they're like, ah, and they get fucking chased down by who we know is the grabber. And this movie doesn't shy away from it. They show you the carnage he inflicts
brutal.
on these kids. The first one, we saw ghost kids. We didn't know what happened. We were left to imagine, which for some audiences will be more effective. There was something about watching these kids get tracked down. And just, that's one of those things that is scary in the world, because we know that shit really happens. Those scenes really shook me. Maybe it's because I was watching it with my
there was
children,
a
which
thing,
makes me a
too.
bad parent, but that scared the shit out
At
of
the
me.
start of each one of those little dream sequences, they would cut to a scene where the kids look really peaceful. So like the
Yeah,
one
they're
kid that got
sitting at a
burned, he was
campfire, they're
he was
playing
sitting by the
drums.
campfire. The
Yeah.
one kid's running around, and then all of a sudden it breaks into that. So I thought they did a great job. With that.
Real Sinister vibes. In that moment, it felt like they were channeling the best thing about Sinister, which we all loved.
Right.
And those, they're just, as a dad, they're fucking chilling. Like that, I'm guessing for everyone, no one likes to see kids get fucking hurt. That rocked me a couple times. And I thought there would be more of that throughout the movie.
My
I
most
love he's dismissive. Weird.
Messed
You must-
up.
yeah, what a stupid take.
yeah, I'm going to go with again. They take the piss out of it because it's a dream. She's witnessing this in a dream, so it's kind of like removed from the actual event. But anytime a loved one has to recover someone who they assume has killed themselves. Just like coming up on that scene, that is really harrowing. And I love Jeremy Davies as an actor. I don't see him in a lot of stuff these days. He always used to play the weird kooky guy. Mm-hmm. It was cool seeing him as the just burned down dad. And watching him discover his wife hanging from a noose in the garage, I thought that was pretty affecting.
Yeah, and that's a scene where it's kind of tying all the story. I'll say, if you've been through one of these, suicides are really hard for me in the theater. So my lack of empathy, that moment, it got all of it. I did cry in the theater. That's just, God, could you fucking imagine?
That's just the thing.
If you've ever, again, if you've experienced one of those, that's like, they were really effective in that scene. It was very harrowing.
Yeah. As much, I guess, that you could ask in this kind of movie. Where
immediately fucking
not too much credit. Don't give it too much credit.
Yeah, he's like, was it good? No, fuck you.
Yeah, well, but that is a messed up moment for sure.
I thought
it was pretty messed up.
That whole scene was great because it's her getting in the van with the grabber, right? So there's an inherent, like, that takes you back to it. And the grabber's just in the back, and he's like, "This is a gift I'm giving you.
I'm giving you a kindness." I love that whole dialogue sequence. Actually.
I'm giving you a kindness. I'm going to show you what really happened.
I hated her reaction though when she saw it.
When she's screaming,
when she steps out, she sees her mother hanging from the
the
garage.
slow build up and pan in on her face.
That worked for me a lot because she had never seen it, so it wasn't even as much about the grabber did it. In that moment, it's
just seeing the body.
My mom was just not there when I woke up one day.
Yeah.
I didn't have. There's a real thing when you lose someone. The last thing you see of them, right? And sometimes you're spared that, and sometimes you're not.
I know, but just
like imagine this girl. She just her mom was gone. She thinks of her every day. Actually seeing it is.
Was it more the editing for you? Like
the editing,
held it,
yes.
They held it way too long.
They held it way too long.
I thought that too.
Very melodramatic.
Well, because I'm like, I want to see what she's looking at.
You fucking editors.
She's not a good enough actress.
I had that same thought.
To make it.
See, I thought that moment for me hit so truthful. Like in that moment, I was really involved in the truth of that moment.
Well, once you saw it, yeah.
Yes.
But leading up to it,
that whole sequence,
the whole thing seemed very expanded. Like you didn't need it.
I do. Again, it's one of those illogical things. It's like she just got in her car and parked in the drive. Like she didn't even like park a block away. She parked in the driveway of the guy she thinks is killing kids, and like whatever. Yeah. But the moment she enters that van and the talking and the going to the house, and we know what we're going to see when we get there. I thought that was the one moment in the movie that really emotionally paid off. It was that and the counselor talking to Finn. I thought those two moments hit really hard and felt very truthful to me. Because again, she had never seen it. She had never seen her mom degraded in that way. That is a moment where I don't think you can be melodramatic. Like, that's an earth-shattering moment for a kid.
It just seemed, I don't know. To me, it was very on the nose, the very obvious how you would say, like, be sad, be shocked, be sad. I don't know. Maybe there are only so many ways that you can do that. But the thing, this as an actor, it's like you never play the exact emotion.
Yeah.
Because people don't actually behave that way.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those. Because I remember from this exact moment, right? What happened for me when we came upon something like this, your whole body stops. Like I went jelly. Yeah. I was so frozen, I couldn't move.
Right.
I couldn't do anything for what felt like minutes.
Yeah.
Probably 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And then everything pours out of you. I couldn't have said words. I fucking completely melted into jelly. Yeah. Like everything inside of you goes weak and just sounds and tears come out. But you can't like be saying lines. Well, you can't be like finding fortitude, I feel like.
This performance, it was a big inhale. Let my eyes well.
Camera pan in.
Well, this is different though because she already knew it was coming. So maybe you could give some acting cover on that. She already knew her mom had done this.
Yeah.
So she had probably imagined it thousands of
times.
Well,
the idea is kind of stupid too. Like, why not just kill her and hide the body? Like, why would you drive her back to her house and stage a suicide? The chances that you're going to get caught are high.
The other thing I thought is, so he took her in his van,
put back to her house.
Then he went back to his house, then had to drive her car back and park it. Otherwise, everyone's going to know she did it.
I know that I'm giving too much credit to the script, but in my mind, I was like, did that maybe not happen? And are they trying to play that on our heads?
I read it as Because why would the grabber do a kindness?
Why would he?
I
yeah.
think the grabber
He's fucking with
planted
her.
this
Yeah.
seed. But then it's like, why would you plant a seed in the person who just went Super Saiyan and
Yeah.
blew up a phone booth and can beat your
It
ass?
didn't make any
But
sense.
no, apparently that's how it happened because then she tells her dad exactly what he said in that moment.
Yeah, and it was right. So that is
Oh.
true. So that's actually how it happened. So
I also
it's weird.
thought it was something that didn't happen, and that when he said, I'm doing you a kindness, I thought that was code for, I'm just going to fuck you up. Because then he had to go back to his house, bring the car back, hope that no one ever heard the van engine, the door closing, the garage door opening.
That's logic fallacy number 21 of the movie.
There's no way he actually did that.
There's no way.
There's no fucking chance. If someone opened my garage door, I would hear that in my whole house. There's no way. And these were 70s fucking garage. Neither here nor there.
Anyways, yeah.
Again, for what this conversation sounds like, I did enjoy this movie more than it sounds like. Again, I think it's just one of those, it's the Apatow effect. You got to have a director or an editor that can tell you, hey man, this is not the best for the flow of the movie. This movie had no flow, and it had like 7-minute long exposition dumps. It just needed a good trim. I think if you cut 30 minutes out of this movie, I think there's a version of this that works like a charm.
And it felt very literary. I could see this working as a novella or, a literary experience. It was not cinematic.
Is that because Finn never said anything to anybody? He was just
'Cause
always
he's
he always had
fucking
these
angsty.
inner monologues going on.
He's angsty, dude.
He's angsty, yeah.
Well, again, also,
Which would make a great
maybe
book.
on the page you're like, the fucking grabber skates, his thighs bulging with muscles.
Out
You're
of a
like,
cloud
that's
of
cool.
smoke.
Right.
When you see it,
Yeah.
oh my god, that's lame.
See, I didn't even think it was honestly that lame. I thought the imagery was cool with him coming out of the smoke.
that
coming
was
towards
cool
them.
for a second.
For a second.
Had he been running or doing
Yeah.
anything? Because also that's the thing, he's skating. Everyone else is running around that ice, and I'm like, have you ever been on ice?
Yeah.
You can't fucking run and change directions and do normal athletic moves.
They're Coloradans,
on
man.
ice. You would fucking slip and die.
It felt like they didn't even take the opportunity to, like, everything goes quiet. You hear the ice skates on the ice, in the distance, like the ominous, oh, there's a threat coming. None of that.
They tried a
'cause
little
she gets
bit.
on that car and she goes, "Her."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, here we go. Because also I was like, and then Finn's like, bullshit, she fell asleep on accident. And I was like, can you just make yourself fall?
Yeah, I was wondering that too.
Like when Sam's doing one of his theories, can I just go, right? Like there's no way. You can't just shut yourself off. Just kidding, Sam. I would never fall asleep for your
Son of a
theories.
bitch.
They provide our best content. That's it. Like,
Yeah, I lost my train of thought actually after that
yeah,
insult.
like the Black Phone 2, this pod has gone on long enough. That's it for us. Make sure you go to the Messed Up Movies pod. Support the show. Unless you made Black Phone 2, I'm sure you want nothing to do with us. Make sure you go to the Misfit Parade YouTube, see video versions of the pods and other stuff we have there. Make sure you go to Indiegogo. Find Mr. Cream Jeans. You have to type it in. You can help us make our first movie and join the podcast. You can do a new movie, old movie, film festival draft versus anyone and everyone you want. Then we can make a movie that some other podcasters can shit all over. The American Dream.
You'd be so lucky.